Now I have to remember where I'm looking. Definitely not looking here. Let me pull it up one. Okay, let me pull up my. Oh, ooh, girl, about to forget again. Okay, now we got. All right. Okay, y'all. Here I is. We are talking today about 3 herbs every woman over 40 needs for hair health. Okay. Every woman needs for hair health. So, whether you are dealing with thinning, breakage, shedding, or it just seems like your hair isn't growing like it used to, your hair isn't just growing like it used to. I want you to know that your body isn't broken. Okay, it's not the end of the world. You gonna be all right. I'll tell you what we're gonna do about it. We're gonna deal with the scalp. Remember, the scalp is the foundation for your hair health. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about these herbs and tell you what I created using these herbs and how it can potentially help your hair. Okay. So if you are new here, if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Kendra. I am the founder of 180 Hair, and I help women over the age of 40 to transform their hair health using holistic solutions. Okay. So holistic solutions means that we look at your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition as it pertains to your overall hair health. Because remember, healthy hair is not one thing, it's layered. Okay. It's complex. It can be a number of things, or it can be one thing. It is my job to help you to get to the bottom of it. Okay. And figure out what you can do going forward to get your hair back on track. Okay, so first things first, why women over 40 and why our hair changes after 40? Okay, quick story. When I first started this business, I owned a hair salon. Okay, it was called 180 Hair Salon. All right, go figure. That's the name of my hair care brand. It's 180 Hair, but my salon was the 180 Hair Salon. Inside the salon, I also sold hair extensions. This was before I started making products. So I was selling hair extensions, and most of the customers that came in that were over the age of 40, not all of my customers were over 40, but the ones that were buying hair extensions to hide hair loss. Okay. They were hiding hair loss with the hair extensions, which most of us do, right? And so I would ask them, well, what are you doing about your hair loss? 9 times out of 10, the answer was, that's why I'm buying this hair. There was no getting to the bottom of it. There was nobody to help them figure it out. A lot of them had been burned in one way or another by hairstylists, so they didn't trust hairstylists. And I owned a salon, so I'm like, I have natural hairstylists here. You don't want to, but they didn't trust hairstylists for whatever their reason were. And I know some amazing natural hairstylists. Okay, but it didn't matter, right? They didn't know what to do. The hair care aisle was confusing. They were tired of trying. They were tired of hearing all of these different things they needed to do. They were confused. So they were just like, you know what? I'll just get a wig. So they would buy hair from me, get somebody to make them a wig, and they would wear the wig. And it was so sad to see that all the time. Okay. I was like, okay, Kendra, we got to do something about this. You're not going to be a part of the problem. If you're a part of the problem, you need to be a part of How does the saying go? Anyway, I felt like I was adding to the problem by not having a solution that wasn't, a real solution. Because yes, hair extensions are a solution, but I wanted to be able to do something that would help us get to the bottom of our hair loss, or get to the root of our hair loss, pun intended. Okay. And so that's why I started the 180 Hair Care products. And I wanted to make sure that we used ingredients that were natural. So I took a year off from my hair salon because I ended up closing it, obviously, and I studied ingredients. Okay, I studied herbs, I studied different types of chemicals and nutrients for the hair, and all of these different things, right? And decided to begin making products. And that's how we ended here today. It's long story short, how we ended here today. So I have a very special place in my heart for women over the age of 40. And now I'm a woman over the age of 40 as well. Okay. And I know from firsthand experience how hair loss can affect us in so many different ways, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, psychologically, like all of those things. It's real. Okay. If you've been doing this for as long as I have, you have had a lot of conversations around how people feel when their hair doesn't look like it used to, when it doesn't grow the way it used to, when it doesn't feel the same, when they're seeing more hair in the sink than on their head, when they're seeing more scalp than they ever seen before. Okay, those things are frustrating. All right, so I like to take time on these topics, not from a place of me just trying to sell you something, because I know y'all are tired of buying stuff. Okay, so it's really more about educating you so that when you do buy things, you know what to buy or why you're buying it. Okay. Now, again, once we get a certain age, our hormones shift. Things happen in our bodies that we don't like. We wasn't expecting it, but hey, here we go. Okay. Nutrient absorption slows down. We deal with all kinds of gut issues. We deal with so much stress. All right. And our hair is a messenger. Because our hair is a messenger, our hair begins to show it. And it shows up in things like inflamed scalp, itching, irritation, thinning, hair loss, bald spots. Okay. Our hair ends up telling our business in so many ways. Okay. Scalp issues can lead to less oil production. This leads to a drier scalp. This leads to brittle hair, mineral depletion, because we stop eating healthy when we're under stress, or we stop eating healthy when we're rushing through life every day. And mineral depletion of the main things that our hair needs, like iron, zinc, magnesium, affect the strength of our follicles. Okay. And a lot of times all we know is to take a biotin. Take you some biotin. And no, biotin is great. Most of us are not biotin deficient because biotin is in a lot of foods that we eat. We also have to remember minerals. Biotin is one of the 7 B vitamins. Okay. There are still 2 other B vitamins that you need for your hair health, along with A, K, vitamin C, protein. Like there's so many other things. So again, it's my heart posture is to help women to understand these things so that you do not get messed over, lied to, bamboozled when it comes to your hair health. Okay. So how can herbs help naturally? So I want to talk about these 3 herbs again. And remember, think about your grandmothers, your great grandmothers, our ancestors, before the drugstore aisles, before the beauty supply stores, all of those things. Our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, our aunts, mothers, all they use plants. Okay, they didn't have access to creams and things with all of these keratins and all of this stuff in it. They had to use what they had, and a lot of that was plants. Okay, plants and our bodies work better together. All right, the naturalness of it all. Right, plants know how to nourish, calm, and restore balance to our bodies. So that's why I always say food first. Okay, always try to get all your nutrients from food rather than just taking a supplement. Because again, we love to take a biotin pill. All right, and these biotin pills have such high milligrams or mcgs, and it's like, girl, your body is not even absorbing half of that. Like a lot of that stuff is coming out when we use the bathroom. Okay, so we just have some expensive, bright yellow pee. Honestly, is what we end up with. Okay, so let's get to these herbs. The first one is hibiscus. Okay, and I'm going to show some little pouches that have these herbs in them. Okay, but this is what hibiscus looks like in the dried form. Now, I actually have a hibiscus plant at my home because it's one of my favorite flowers, but in the dried form, it looks like this. Okay, now this one, I think hibiscus is one of the most beautiful flowers that there is, but it's not just pretty, it's very potent. Okay, so what does hibiscus do? It helps to stimulate the blood flow to the scalp. And of course, we know that's important because blood flow brings oxygen and nutrients to your follicles. Okay, remember, your hair growth starts on the inside. So we have to do things that promote the internal growth, not just the external. Hibiscus also strengthens the roots, which helps to promote thicker looking hair. Okay, it also helps to restore luster. So it's a great conditioner. So if your hair is dry or it looks dull, hibiscus will help to restore that. And then it also is naturally acidic. So it helps to balance and restore your hair's pH or your scalp's pH. And then it helps to smooth out the hair cuticle. Okay. Now, if you are somebody that's especially dealt with things like thinning edges, okay, breakage from relaxers, chemicals, color treatments, heat damage, again, dullness from lack of hydration, because a lot of times our hair doesn't get enough water or water-based products, then hibiscus is definitely going to help with that. So you think of hibiscus like a circulation booster. It helps to get things moving. So if your scalp's been feeling if your hair growth has been feeling stagnant, your scalp has been feeling tight, dry, itchy, then hibiscus is like the wake-up call to your roots, okay? And as I say with all herbs, it's not overnight magic. I don't know where y'all get this from, where y'all think a product is something that's supposed to work overnight. Anytime we're dealing with natural ingredients, it's going to take time and consistency, all right? But over time, you will start to feel a difference. I want you to remember that. You need to feel the difference before you think about seeing a difference. Your hair should feel better, okay? Because a lot of time we just want our hair to grow. Just what do I need for my hair to grow, Kendra? That's all I want to know. And what Kendra is going to do is bring you back down to reality and tell you that your hair is always growing. You don't have to force your hair to grow. It's always growing. What we need to do is get to the bottom of why you're not retaining length, okay? And sometimes that means we need to treat our scalp first. We need to deal with the issues of our scalp. We need to deal with our nutrition so that our follicles get what they need to grow strong, so your hair isn't growing brittle and thin and breaking off before the end of the hair growth phase, okay? Or the growth phase, all right? So the next herb that we're going to talk about is nettle. Talk about nettle. Nettle is the mineral powerhouse. This is like the multivitamin. Y'all want to ask me what is the best multivitamin for hair growth? Nettle. I'll tell you why. Because it is loaded with the minerals that we forget about. Iron, silica, sulfur, magnesium, zinc. These are minerals, okay? Not vitamins, they're minerals. And your scalp, your hair, your body, of course, needs all of these. But nettle is rich in these things, and it helps to reduce inflammation. So this is a big deal if you're someone that has a very sensitive scalp or you deal with a lot of shedding. Nettle also supports hair growth and supports your hair growth cycle regulation. All right. So a lot of times with life and all of the things that we're dealing with, our hair growth gets thrown out of cycle or gets thrown into the shedding phase or the resting phase a lot quicker than it normally should. Nettle helps to regulate that. It also helps to strengthen your follicles from within. That's because of all the minerals it contains, the iron, the silica, the sulfur, the magnesium, and the zinc, okay? So also you can drink nettle. You can make you a nettle tea. And you can find nettle tea in almost any store aisle that has, the teas that you would find in the coffee and teas aisle of your grocery store, okay? And again, this is especially great for women because a lot of the time when we're over a certain age or just, we're still a woman of childbearing age, we are typically low in iron. And nettle is going to be a natural way to restore that balance as well. Again, if you're dealing with chronic shedding or slow regrowth, nettle is great for that as well, including hormonal hair loss. Okay. All right. Moving on. The next herb I wanted to talk about, how long have we been? 15 minutes. Okay, it's fenugreek. Fenugreek is the strengthener and the smoother. This one has been around for ages and ages and ages. Your hair and scalp loves it. Okay, so the thing about fenugreek is most of my customers and people that I work with either love it or hate it based on the smell. Okay, fenugreek has a very potent smell, and a lot of people liken it to maple syrup or pancakes or oatmeal because it does have like a sweet smelling, syrupy smelling element. But there are other people that says it smells like curry, or it smells like what's the other thing I heard? It smells like curry. It smells like dirt. It smells like leaves. It smells too herbal. But your hair absolutely loves fenugreek, all right, because it does help to promote growth. It does strengthen your hair. It does give you some really deep hydration. It helps to smooth your strands. It helps with scalp inflammation, including itching and irritation. And again, another amazing herb that helps to reduce shedding. This is especially powerful for if your hair is dry and is snapping easily, if you have itching and irritation on the scalp. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I want you to get it in your mind what these herbs help with, okay? And then also postpartum stress or stress-related shedding. Postpartum shedding or stress-related shedding. We know that when we're pregnant, our hair grows, and grows. It's beautiful. That's because of all the hormones your body produces. And then after you have that baby, typically you lose all that beautiful hairs because your hormone levels regulate and all the hair goes right along with it most of the time. Okay. So fenugreek is great because if you soak fenugreek seeds in water, you'll notice that the water gets like a slippery or slippy consistency to it. That texture is the magic, okay? That's what helps to protect and smooth your hair while it's growing. So I love fenugreek for that, okay? Now, putting all three of these herbs together was not just a random thing. These herbs are all fairly easy to find. Depending on the quality that you get, they are reasonably priced. Okay, if you buy them individually or you buy them all together, they're all reasonably priced. And they also each play a role in supporting your hair health, your dryness, and slow growth and all of that. So these are three very powerful herbs that all work together to give your hair what it needs. Okay. So again, this kit that I've created, you've probably seen this before. It's on the store or in the store. Okay, it helps to give your scalp what it's really craving. The circulation, the minerals, the moisture, the calm, all of that. These herbs don't just sit on your hair. They go deep, they feed the scalp, they calm the follicles, encourage healthy, grounded growth. Now, inside of this kit is the three herbs that I just talked about. I also give you four different recipes that you can use depending on what your hair concern is. Also is some blank labels because you need to label and date all of your blends, just because if you use anything that has water in it, if you create a blend that has water in it, you have to refrigerate it and you have to use it within 7 days because none of these products are going to have preservatives, not going to have any chemicals. It's going to be all natural. Okay, you'll also receive some empty containers, giving you a container with a spray bottle, giving you a container with a twist top for your oils. You also get some rosemary oil inside the kit, okay? You can use your favorite essential oil if you have an alternative that you like better. And you also get a jar that's to make any other blends that will require you to stir, or some of the blends, or there are some blends that you allow the herbs to sit for a few days or a couple weeks. You have to go back in, shake it, or stir it. And so that's what that jar is going to come in handy for, along with this little stirring spoon. Okay, so that's everything that's inside the kit, and you can get that on the website. Okay, again, the bonus that you're getting is your own energy of creating these things for yourself. Nobody knows your hair history, your hair story better than you. Okay, so knowing what your hair needs and being able to make something that helps with that is going to be key for you. So I'm just looking over here so I can tag the product in the comments really quick. Okay. Pin that. So you can check that out. I've linked it below in the comment section or in the chat if you want to check that out and see if it's something that you are interested in. Okay. Now, if you are thinking, because I have been doing this for a very long time, and I probably deal with some of the toughest critics, the toughest customers, the toughest everything, because the women that I deal with are already at a level of frustration where they are tired of everything. They feel they have tried everything, and they are tired of spending money, and they just want something that works. And I totally get that. And a lot of the issue is that we are marketed to so heavily and so slick that we think we need everything that comes across our news feed, everything that comes across our screen, everything that's something that works for somebody else, we think it'll work for us. But it's my job to make sure that you understand your unique hair, your unique scalp, so that when you buy products, when you buy things, you buy based on your hair, not mine, not your cousin's, not that YouTuber, not the influencer, but yours. Okay? So again, I understand the frustration of trying everything, but so trust me. But this isn't another store-bought product. This is a tool. Look at this kit, not as another product, but as a tool, okay, that helps you take the lead in your own hair healing. Because you, like I said, know what your hair has been through. And remember, this isn't just about using another product, because remember, hair health and hair growth is not one-sided. It's not one thing. It's multiple things. We need to know the type of ingredients that our hair loves. We need to know the type of foods we need to eat, our exercise regimen, our hydration. All of that is important, okay? So if you want to grab the kit, again, I've linked it below. You can check it out. You can grab these ingredients individually. If you do your research, okay, you can find these ingredients online. I've already vetted these particular companies because I've worked with them for a very long time. So I know that the quality is there. But if you end up, or if you find yourself ordering these things separately because maybe you just want to make one thing, just make sure you do your due diligence and research the company, okay, that you're buying from. And that goes with herbs, that goes with supplements, that even goes with products that you're that you buy, okay? All right. Now, again, if you've been feeling like your hair just hasn't been bouncing back like it used to, don't ignore that. I said in the beginning, your hair is a messenger. Your hair tells your business. And the first person your hair tells your business to is you. You got to be paying attention. You seeing your hair thinning, you seeing bald spots popping up, you seeing breakage, you need to start paying attention and not ignore it, because ignoring it doesn't make it go away. Trust me, I have worked with women to where it is too late. It's nothing to be done because they saw the problem when it started and they chose not to do anything about it. Or they continued the same habit that was causing the issue, and then they had hair loss that was irreversible. Okay. So you can start with something gentle, something all natural, something powerful. If you don't do anything else, make sure your hair is getting enough hydration. Make sure you have in your hair care arsenal, you have at least a hydrating product, something that is water based, something that's high in water, aloe vera, some kind of hydrosol, something that can keep your hair from getting too dry. And then when you hydrate, you make sure you seal with an oil, something light. But again, that's going to depend on your porosity, which is a whole other conversation. But at minimum, if you're dealing with dryness, breakage, thinning, make sure you're getting hydration. And that includes drinking some water. That includes drinking water as well. Okay? If there are any questions, which there aren't, that's always good. That means I'm explaining things. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get off. Okay, looks like it's, because sometimes on here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get off and give you all the rest of your Sunday back. Remember that I do have other products available in the store. There's ebooks if you need to understand or know the type of foods that you should be eating for hair health. If you need to understand your hair profile, so you need to, so you can buy the products that your hair needs. I have books and resources for that. There's tons of videos here on YouTube. There's a course that's launching next month in August. It's called Hair Rehab. You can join that as well or join the wait list. All of that information is on the website, or you can check the link in my bio. All the things. I'm not hard to find. I'm all over these internets. So, and if you have a question later, you can come back to this video and ask it. I check my comments daily, so I will always get back to you as soon as I can. All right. And that's it. We wrapped it up, and I got other things to do. I got to get back to work. So again, thank you all for joining me here today. Remember, you deserve hair that's healthy and growing. It's my mission to help you get there, and I will see you all in the next one.